Hi everyone, welcome back to Active Mindfulness Tuesday Questions. As always, I'm Gemma, I'm a mindfulness teacher, and I'm here to answer your questions on mindfulness or mindfulness for sports. So today I have a great question from Lynn, who asks, is it possible to turn off negative thoughts? It's a great question, Lynn. Thank you for asking that. So it's something that people often come to mindfulness for. They want to turn off their thoughts. They want to not experience them anymore, particularly the negative ones. And it's incredibly easy to understand why. None of us want to have lots of negative thoughts all of the time. But actually, turning them off is not something that we can do. So a thought is something that just comes to you, that just happens. It's not something that you have control over, that first thought that pops into your mind. Say I have the thought of, I was rubbish at that. That's just a thought that comes up in relation to whatever has happened. The bit that we have more control over is what we do with that thought. So what a lot of people do is they add another thought to it and another thought to it and another thought to it. So I was a bit rubbish at that becomes, why am I always rubbish at stuff? Why should I even bother? So you can see the chain of thinking getting progressively more anxiety provoking. So what we can do is we can interrupt that chain. So through mindfulness, we can learn to just sit back and observe that thought coming up for us. Observing the thought is very different from following it. When we follow it, we add more to it and we become emotionally attached to it. When we observe it without judgment as just a thought that's come up. And then we can step back from it and take a choice about how we want to respond. And it may be that at that point we choose to then put our energy, our emotional and cognitive energy, into something else, into conjuring up in our minds, remembering times where actually we have felt good enough, or we felt we've done a good job or a good enough job, to help kind of balance that out so that we don't end up following it with an emotional reaction. So what we're doing is not banishing negative thoughts, trying to get rid of them, because the more we try and get rid of our thoughts, the more they just come back anyway. But what we're doing instead is stepping back, observing them, putting a bit of space between us and those thoughts, and then that allows us the space to choose how we want to respond. So we get to turn down the dial of intensity on those thoughts. So I hope that helps. Please do feel free to like or share the video and leave any comments or questions that you might have, which I will always do my best to answer. Thank you, everyone. Bye.